This should really be the last night that we will be using this format. Hopefully next Wednesday at 6:30, we'll be going back to our classes the way that we've done for so many years. And we're hopeful that that the COVID will continue to slowly fade away. The case numbers, at least right here in our area, are certainly on the decline, and we hope it will continue to be that way. We're hopeful that our schools will be able to continue to just in the regular schedule. Hopefully that will be the way things work out, and we'll be monitoring those things and watching those things. But Sunday we're going to try to go back to just being what we've always been, and hopefully, well, as much as we can with the proper sanitation. We're not shaking hands, we're not hugging necks, we're trying to space each other in the classes. That's getting really old, and I know a lot of us are kind of getting tired of it. TA surely is, I can tell you that. But we obviously are still going to be doing that for a while. But hopefully going back to our regular class schedule this Sunday and next Wednesday night. If you're planning on being in the Sunday morning class out here in the auditorium, this is the quarterly that we'll be using, and there's a whole stack of them right over here. And this will be the one that we'll be using in this quarter. So you might want to pick one up. Somebody, how about Terry Deboard right before we finish? How about just passing them out right quick, Terry? And to everybody who expects to be in this class on Sunday morning. Okay. All right. We have been studying book of Hebrews at Bobby Lloyd's suggestion, and really the time frame is going to work out just about right. There were two more lessons, Hebrews 12 and Hebrews 13, in the last quarterly that we used. And so since this is the last night, I'm going to begin reading in Hebrews 12 and verse 1. The lesson text actually skips part of it, but it's actually some pretty good stuff, and I'm going to read it. And I'm just going to start reading here, and I'm going to go as far as I can get till about 20 after 7 or so, and then I'll just stop wherever I'm at. I probably won't get all the way through chapter 12 and chapter 13, but there's a lot of good stuff here, and I don't want to leave out any of it, and I'm just going to get as far as I can get. By the way, I might just mention one thing. A lot of you, especially if you go out this way, you know that we had a billy goat that had took up residence here a month or so ago, and see him out here an awful lot. Sometimes when I'm in the office, he just comes up and keeps me company looking in the door out there. Apparently, he stepped out in front of a vehicle and met his demise, and he was right out here in the yard. And so I just wanted you to know, if you are an animal lover, I gave him a proper burial. And his remains are right out there if you want to go pay your respects if you like the goat. And so just wanted to let you know that. Apparently he stepped out in front of a vehicle. All right. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 1. Therefore, we actually read this. This was part of the lesson text last week, but it's also in this week as well. Therefore, we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, and that was that witnesses that we were reading about in Hebrews 11, the Faith Hall of Fame. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. And I know I said this last Wednesday, I'm going to say it again. The Christian life is a race, and it is a marathon. It is not a 100-meter dash. It is a marathon that we just got to keep running in. I keep thinking about when Michelle Raines ran that marathon, and she kept a journal. She let me read it, and it was some really interesting reading. And she wrote about how there were moments where she was in pain, she was hurting, wanted to quit, but she kept running. But she kept running, and she finished the race. And Christian life is a marathon, and we just got to keep running. It's okay to walk sometimes. As a matter of fact, reading up on these things, I've never attempted a marathon, nor do I intend to. But as you know, I do a good deal of running myself, mostly right up here at the neighborhood track. Reading up on these things and trying to learn how to do it properly that will really help your body, not hurt yourself, help yourself. The experts say, walk a little bit. Walk some. When you really you start getting really tired, just walk a little bit. Let your heart recover, let your legs recover just a little bit, and then start running again. It's okay. As we're running our Christian race, sometimes we might have to slow up and walk just a little bit. Brad might have to get off his bicycle and push every once in a while up a hill or something. No, Christy, no, he doesn't. No, never. Well, tough guy, still got to be a tough guy. Let me tell you something. When I ran a 10K in Nashville, we come to one hill. I looked at my daughter over there and I said, we're walking up this one, hon. So sometimes it's okay to walk. It's okay to walk. But don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep running. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. The author, think about writing a book. You're responsible for it. You write chapter 1 and you write the last chapter. The author and the finisher of our faith, Jesus Christ, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross. Jesus was looking past that. He knew he was going back to heaven, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. That's where he is at, even at this point. John Hargis was telling me when I asked him if he would be willing to lead us in prayer. John said, I always say 2 prayers. The first one I say is, Lord, help me not to make a fool out of myself when I get up before everybody. But I told John, we got that go-between there. He's going to straighten it out. We might not be as eloquent as we would like to be every time, but we've always got that go-between to straighten it out for us, John. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. And that is Jesus. For consider him who endured such hostility, talking about Jesus, from sinners against himself, lest you become weary and discouraged in your soul. In other words, you start getting down and depressed and think this is too hard, think about what Jesus did. You have not yet resisted to bloodshed. Hey, you're still here. You hadn't been nailed to a cross. Striving against sin. And you have forgotten the exhortation which speaks to you as to sons. This is actually from the book of Proverbs. My son, do not despise the chastening of the Lord, nor be discouraged when you are rebuked by him. For whom the Lord loves, he chastens, and scourges every son whom he receives. So God, every day is not going to be a real good day. And we're not going to feel good every day. And there's some days that the car is going to break down. And there's some days that things are going to go wrong at work. And some days we're going to get up and we're going to have the flu. Those things are going to happen. But we just got to keep on plugging. Now notice he stays with that idea here. If you endure chastening, God deals with